Hello, Stitched Together family. The past couple months have been pretty eventful over here. Back in June, the channel turned 13 years old. June was also my birthday, turned 35 years old. And now in July, we passed 75,000 subscribers and 15 million views. So to celebrate, I wanted to do something that I haven't done in a long time on the channel. I did a Q&A video on Patreon, I think like the first year I started Patreon, but it's been a minute. So I asked you for your questions, and these come from Patreon and from YouTube. I think I got over 250, 260, 270 questions between Patreon and YouTube. I can't answer them all. Some of them do repeat. I'm gonna try and answer as many as I can. From Dustin Steckler, I always wondered if your mom is really dead or if it's just a joke. I don't like my mom much, and she's a drunk, so I always laugh at your mom's jokes. My mother in real life is still alive. She actually texted me this morning. So yes, it's all just a joke. Andy's mother's catchphrase, the, you know what? Like, that's actually something she says in real life when she's drunk and you're kind of like fucking with her. So yeah, the you know what is something that she actually says in real life. And then sometimes the text, like it'll say Andy's mom and then something weird that she's been up to. Most of the time, those are jokes. But every once in a while, there'll be something in there that my mother has done in real life, like going to a testicle festival. She didn't eat any, but she went. Andy's mother went to a testicle festival. And that is why I don't drink in my real life. I just turned 35 in June. I've never had a beer or any kind of alcohol. I've had fans leave comments like, oh, let me know if you're ever in Nashville or something and I'll buy you a beer. It's like, I don't drink, but you can buy me a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi or a Coke or something. Evil Andy is me in an alternate universe if I did drink and was an alcoholic. From Alden and Cluna, are you still working a day/night job? If yes, how are you balancing your career and YouTube life? Yes. So I still work midnights part-time. That's the great thing about the subscribers and views and YouTube members and Patreon patrons is that I now work my midnight job part-time. Part-time working midnights, part-time doing YouTube. So thank you. Thank you so much. Because that's one of the reasons why I took a break for a while, is because I was so burnt out working midnights full-time while also trying to do YouTube full-time. I was burning the candle at both ends, wasn't seeing any progress, was making no money back then. I mean, losing money, having to buy costumes and gear and all this stuff. So yeah, it wasn't until I came back in 2019, I didn't start making money until like 2020. I listened to everyone who was like, get a Patreon page. So I got a Patreon page, and the support on there has been amazing. Thank you guys. Without you guys supporting us through Patreon and the YouTube memberships, I wouldn't be doing this. You know, the great thing about midnights is that there's not a whole lot to do. So I'll bring my computer with me and work on scripts, or if I've shot stuff, I'll bring my laptop with me and edit the videos. The second half of the week and the weekends is more for shooting, writing, editing, you know, whatever I need to do. From Jay Hartman, I've been watching your channel back since the Nightmare on Elm Street remake days, and I gotta say it's been such a pleasure to have you back making regular content. So my question is, if you could remake any horror movie, doesn't matter if it's already been remade, what would it be and how would you handle it? Congrats on the milestone. Again, thank you. Even though it's already been it's been rebooted several times now, but my favorite horror movie has to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I even love the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I would give my left nut, not joking, to make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. How would I handle it? Well, you gotta have the family in there. That's kind of been the problem with the last couple Leatherface movies, is that it's just about Leatherface, and they kind of treat him as like a weird anti-hero sometimes. Definitely need to go back to the house. You need to have the family with him. And also, I would seriously try to do what every other filmmaker says they're going to try to do, and that is try to capture the gritty realism of that movie. Some of them have tried it and then realized really quickly that you can't, or it's hard to do. But I would be that person who tries so damn hard to recapture the magic, or at least the look and feel of that original movie. I may fail, but I would try so hard to do it. From Ethan Drake, first horror movie you ever saw. I don't remember the first horror movie I ever saw, but it would probably have to be one of the Leprechaun movies. That's why even though they are cheesy, they hold a special place in my heart. Congrats Andy, Andy, and Andy. Now on to 100,000. I want that silver play button. I need it. It's going over here somewhere. When I get it, I'm just gonna put like a chain around it and just wear it around my neck everywhere I go. When I need to redo my license, do you think they'll let me wear that in the photo? From Neon Arcane Saint, how long did it take for you to get comfortable in front of the camera to start doing all these bits you do for the episodes? And which bit is the one you enjoyed doing the most? I love the Rob Zombie one from House of a Thousand Corpses, LOL. Also, congrats, your channel deserves even more subs and views. Your videos keep getting better and better. Over the years, I've been watching your vids since the Day of the Dead boots to reboots, and you've improved a lot. Much love from Brazil. Thank you so much for the kind words. How long did it take for me to get comfortable in front of the camera? It's easy in character, like right now, without a script. Like this is, to me, this is uncomfortable and a little awkward. So that's the great thing about being a character and I guess getting to hide behind a mask is that it's a lot more freeing. It probably took a couple years because I never really wanted to be in front of the camera. I always just wanted to be behind the camera because it is kind of awkward just talking to a lens and having to picture you sitting there, picking the lint out of your belly button or whatever you're doing right now. It helps if I'm picturing you in your underwear. Yes, you. Ugh. Did I answer the question? From Brian Smith on Patreon. Thank you, Brian. You've been a member for a very long time, so thank you for the support. Congrats on 75,000 subscribers. You deserve them. Your videos always crack me up. My question, what gave you the brilliant idea of having the three Andys do the movie reviews? I knew that after dropping out of film school and starting a YouTube channel in this kind of smallish town that I live in, that it was probably just going to be me making these videos. And I really didn't want to be myself, because I guess I didn't think I was all that interesting, and I didn't want to just be sitting here like so many other people do, just at their computer desk. I don't know, I would get so bored doing that. So I wanted to be a character, so, okay, well, I will just play multiple characters. Andy the Maniacal Cinephile will have split personalities. There can be an evil one, there can be a good, innocent, like little boy personality, and I'll just bounce off of them. And then also came Mother's severed head and Dr. Oddcoitus and all that. Just to give me someone else to bounce off of, even though it's myself. You're watching me bounce on myself. From Audrey Quinn, absolutely overjoyed for you. Kudos on your double achievements. Thanks. My question is, your content presentation is so unique featuring the three Andy personalities, and your appreciation for horror films is obvious. Did you study theater acting and or improv comedy in university? I love your show, by the way. Keep up the good work. Congratulations again from Ireland. It's pretty cool that I just make videos down here in my basement, and they travel through the internet to Brazil and Ireland. Hello over there. Thank you for watching. Did I study theater acting or improv comedy? Nope. I have no acting background at all. Never did theater. All I did was watch a lot of comedy movies as a kid. Was a bit of a ham growing up. Just made a lot of faces in the mirror. Humor is a bit of a coping mechanism. When you have a weird childhood, you just learn to be funny to get through it. This one is from Hernan, who is a member over on Patreon. You've also been a member for a long time. I see your comments all the time on the videos, so thank you so much for the support. Congrats on the 75K. We will get you to 1 million now. My question is, what were the early concepts for the host character of your show? There really weren't any different versions of it. I always pictured like this escaped mental patient in a robe with long hair, which I had long hair. I've had long hair since I was like 16. Bandages, because his face was burnt somehow. So I came up with this backstory about how he was disfigured, seeing Freddy vs. Jason at the theater. He was telling someone to shut up because he was really excited to watch Freddy vs. Jason. Got hot nacho cheese thrown in his face. Spent like 10 years in a mental hospital. Got released. Horrified that all of his favorite movies had been remade. So now he's made a list and he's going down them and deciding which reboots get the boot. So yeah, that was pretty much always the idea. I was inspired by Svengoolie, who was a horror host I watched growing up. Mystery Science Theater, riff tracks, watching The Angry Video Game Nerd and being like, wait, you can do this on YouTube and make money? Sprinkle that with a little bit of Alice Cooper, like if you listen to songs like Steven or Years Ago off the album Welcome to My Nightmare. Even listen to the Alice Cooper album From the Inside, which is when he was an alcoholic and dealing with that, and they really didn't have like rehab centers back then, so he went to a mental hospital. And that album is kind of like his experience being in the mental hospital. Being a big Jim Carrey fan, movies like Me, Myself, and Irene with the split personalities, that's pretty much, I guess, where Evil Andy comes from. Not only Me, Myself, and Irene, but also in elementary or... No, it was middle school. I read a book called Sybil, which was a book about this woman who had multiple personalities. So it's always been something I've been fascinated with. You know, also movies like Psycho, where there's Norman and then he's talking as his mom. So I don't know, it's always been something I've been interested in. Yeah, really, it's just been the one concept. I don't remember a plan B at all. The only real difference is that I think originally his name was going to be Stanley because I really like the director Stanley Kubrick. But I was like, that's a little too obvious or on the nose, too cheesy. But my middle name is Andrew. When I was born, my dad wanted to call me Andy. My mom didn't like the name Andy, so she named me Derek. So in a lot of ways, the Andy character is me, but in an alternate timeline. Actually, my mom just texted me that Ozzy Osbourne is dead. The fuck? Ozzy Osbourne died. Dies aged 76. Fuck. That really sucks. It was just a couple Saturdays ago that I watched the Back to the Beginning concert. It was like 10 hours of all these bands and a send-off for Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and it was a great concert. Yeah, I had a lot of fun that day just watching all those bands, and when Ozzy was singing Mama, I'm Coming Home, like I teared up. Thanks, Mom, for texting me and now making me sad. R.I.P. Ozzy. Thank you for your incredible solo career and for being a member of Black Sabbath and creating heavy metal. It actually kind of ties into this next question From a DVD copy of Netflix's The Crown, who is also a member on Patreon, so thank you for being a member. How's your guitar playing going? You sounded pretty good the last time you played in a video. Thank you. I mean, it's going fine. I've been playing since 2007. It was actually a Rob Zombie and Ozzy Osbourne concert that I was attending. After that show, I was like, I want to learn how to play. And Guitar Hero was like huge back then in 2007. And like playing that game, it's like, well, this is kind of stupid. Like I want to actually learn how to play this instrument. So yeah, because of Rob Zombie and Ozzy Osbourne, I play guitar. It's going well. Right now, I'm just playing a lot of Ghost songs. I'm going to be going to one of their concerts in like a week or two. But thank you. I like whenever I get the chance to bust out the guitar in a video. I'm always worried whatever I do is going to get the video copyright claimed, so it's a balancing act. But I have fun doing it and wish I could do it more often. This one comes from Brian Menard, who is a patron over on Patreon, so thank you, Brian. Congratulations, man, what an achievement. So I was wondering a few different things. For those that don't know, or if it wasn't answered yet, how did the Andy persona come about? Would you ever consider reviewing horror novels as well as movies? Seriously, man, congrats. Hope it continues growing in a way you never dreamed of. Hats off to your brother. Thank you, Brian, and again, thank you for being a member on Patreon. I've answered how the Andy persona came about. Would I ever consider reviewing horror novels as well as movies? No. I don't read a whole lot of novels in my everyday life. Usually if I read a book, it's an autobiography or it's a book on how to do something or a book on special makeup effects artists. Yeah, in my real life, I really don't read a whole lot of fiction. From Lil Magic TV, first off, huge congrats. Definitely well-deserved. Keep up the amazing work, man. Would there ever be a chance you would do meet and greets in the future? Maybe. When I was younger, I used to go to horror conventions a lot. Now, to me, they're just overpriced and overcrowded. Maybe I would do a meet and greet, or at the very least, I have thought about dressing up as Andy and just walking around a horror movie convention to see if anybody even knows who I am. Because I've only been recognized once out in public, and it was at a horror movie convention. Hello, Adam's Art Box, if you're watching. He makes killer art. A meet and greet? Yeah, maybe one day. If I get big enough, and enough people would be into it. Because to rent a table at one of those conventions, you know, it's a couple $100. I would feel weird charging too much for an autograph. Like, I don't know, I don't think I'm anyone special. That'll be $100 for an autograph, $200 if you want an autograph, and a selfie with your cell phone. I remember being 17 and going to FANGORIA conventions, and an autograph was $20. Now everywhere you go, it's like 80, 100. It's ridiculous. That's why I stopped going. This one's from Jacob Weber, another Patreon member, so thank you, Jacob. Do you have any plans on doing more YouTube streams, such as playing through spooky games or horror movie watch-alongs? I did a couple video game videos on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, and I had a lot of fun doing those. And it's something I definitely want to do more of. So let me know in the comments if there are other horror video games you would like Andy to tackle. Because that's been the thing, trying to figure out how to take the Andy character and his split personalities and then apply that to video game videos. It's something that would be hard to do for like a live stream, because I don't know how I would pitch shift good and evil Andy's voices live. So probably no live streams, but definitely I would like to play more horror games on the channel. Horror movie watch-alongs. That's something I've thought about doing as a Patreon or a YouTube member perk. either, because I got 3 tiers, I don't know if I would add a 4th tier or just add Discord and watch-alongs to the 3rd tier. That's probably what I would end up doing. So yeah, it's an idea that's been floating around in here, doing watch-alongs on Discord, maybe picking a movie once a month and watching it with fans. This next question is from Mitch Schultz, who is a member on Patreon, so thank you. Are you planning to dive into J-horror reviews like Ichi the Killer, Pinocchio 964, and similar films? You know, I get a lot of questions about Japanese horror, and I never have really done a deep dive into J-horror. Now, I like films by Akira Kurosawa, I like Godzilla movies, The Grudge, The Ring, Battle Royale, Train to Busan, but I mean, not all of those are made in Japan. So yeah, I'm not well versed in Asian horror movies that much. So if you have a list of like 10 really good Japanese horror movies, let me know. This question is from Rockland Graves Productions over on Patreon. Thank you so much for being a member. How much time do your shoots generally take? With the different camera angles, skits, and characters, I can imagine they're pretty hefty. Also, wanted to check and see how Dr. Oddcoitus is doing since, well, he's missed a few of my appointments and I'm starting to get worried. He seemed afraid during the last one. It kind of depends on the video. For instance, when I did 28 Years Later, that's a new movie that has hit theaters, so usually I can see that Thursday night during an early preview. I watch the movie, I bring a little notepad with me and write a bunch of notes. Friday is scripting, gathering my thoughts, doing research, looking up trivia, writing my review, writing lines for good and evil Andy, coming up with jokes, any little side skits that I have to do. So Friday is for pretty much scripting and trying to get everything done. Saturday, I usually shoot and start editing, and then usually I can get a video done by Sunday or Monday. And then a perk of being a patron or a YouTube member is that you get to watch the video a day early. So if I get a video done Sunday or Monday, then for everyone else, it's gonna come out like Monday, Tuesday. Longer videos, like the Boots to Reboot stuff, it's a lot of time writing. Like it's at least a week or 2 of just writing. A couple days of shooting and a couple days of editing, just because I'm talking about the movie a lot more, breaking it down a lot more, writing more jokes. So yeah, those longer format videos, those can take at least 2 weeks. And Dr. Oddcoitus, I don't know, I guess he's doing okay. He's laying on the floor in the other room. From Have the Lamb Stopped Screaming. Congratulations, huge fan, love your channel. What age did you start getting into horror, and what was the first horror movie you saw? Probably like 3, 4 years old. I answered it earlier, probably a Leprechaun movie. Leprechaun 2 or 3, probably. Also, will you ever review Silence of the Lambs? I want to. A couple years ago, when I was in that Face of Horror convention, which thank you to everyone who voted for me in that. I think we got all the way to the second to last round. So we got really freaking far. Thank you for voting. That meant a lot. In fact, I think the only autograph I have ever signed was to a fan who voted and donated a lot of money. So I reached out to them and was like, hey man, what's your address? And shipped them, I think, a shirt, an autograph, and the clapperboard that I was using for my videos. So thank you. You're out there somewhere. But the plan, one of the rewards for winning that thing was staying a couple days at Buffalo Bill's house from Silence of the Lambs. So I was like, oh, awesome. I could win this competition, and then also I can go to Pennsylvania, stay a couple days at the Buffalo Bill house, and shoot a Silence of the Lambs review at the actual house. which, if I ever do that video, I still plan on doing that. Because I had a lot of fun going to Texas and doing that video at the actual locations. So yeah, if I ever do Silence of the Lambs, which I want to do, I almost did it a couple years ago when that competition was going on. But yeah, I love that movie. I would love to do that movie. And if I do it, I'm going to try and do it at Buffalo Bill's actual house. Here's a question from Bubby Tummy. Top 5 favorite music bands. Top 3 is pretty easy. I would say Alice Cooper, Ghost, Rob Zombie. The 4 and 5 spot are a little tougher. Jack White, The White Stripes, Rammstein, 9 Inch Nails, Oingo Boingo, The Cure, The Misfits, Oliver Tree, which some people, that might be a surprise to some people, Twin Temple, Zeal and Ardor, Alice Cooper, Ghost, and Rob Zombie. Those are definitely my top 3, and then everyone else is just in a battle royal for the 4 and 5 spot. From the Average Joe, congratulations! What's your favorite song to play on the guitar, and how long have you been playing? I've been playing since I was 17, and currently my favorite song to play would probably be Year Zero by Ghost. I think it would be really cool to be on stage playing that song, and during the last chorus, when all the pyro and stuff is going off, I don't know, that would be so freaking cool to do. From Needle EC, how long does it take to get into costume? Really not that long. I mean, it just takes 2 seconds to throw the robe on. I mean, my long hair I have to put up in like a ponytail and wrap the bandages around my head and let my hair down. That takes a minute or 2. Really, the thing that takes a while is setting up the camera and making sure the mics and lights and everything are good to go. And then I got Good and Evil Andy, which those are separate positions and lighting setups I have to do. So getting into costume is pretty quick. It's just all the different setups that you have to do that takes a while. From Freaky Zed, if there was a 4th Andy, who would he be? The 4th personality is really Mother. But if there were a 4th Andy, I don't know, I thought maybe about like a female character, because in Split he has James McAvoy, he does a female character. But if Mother is already kind of like a 4th personality, then there's really no need for that. I don't know, I'm happy with Andy Prime, Evil, and Good Andy. Andy doesn't need 21 different personalities. From Nocturnal Summoning 45, how do you do Good Andy's voice? All it is I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos, so you just slap on a pitch shifter effect, turn it up to 475, and that seems to be the sweet spot for Good Andy's voice. Evil Andy, his voice is deeper, so he's at like negative 200, 210, 220. So, Andy, I don't want to review Devil's Rejects. Gets turned into
Andy, I don't want to review Devil's Rejects.
From No Drums for Jane, hi Andy, is there a chance for a new segment? Maybe reviewing absolute garbage horror B-movies. That could be fun as hell. Keep up your great work. Greetings from Germany. Hello in Germany. So we've had Brazil, Ireland, and now Germany. Danke. Being a fan of Mystery Science Theater and riff tracks, I love really cheesy, awful B, C grade horror movies. So personally, I would love to review and make fun of really, really bad horror movies. I think the only reason I haven't done it is because I wasn't sure if you guys would want to see it. So let me know. Do you want me to review really bad horror movies? Because I will. From Theater721, your sense of humor is on point in all your videos. What are some things that inspire your comedy? I don't know, growing up in the 90s, you just had great comedy movies like Jim Carrey's work. You had Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Ace Ventura. You had the movies of Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler. And like nowadays, it seems like good comedies are so few and far between. Like, I don't know. I guess people are afraid to make comedies now. Like, I don't know if everyone's just worried that you're going to offend somebody or something. Growing up, I had great comedy movies to watch and loved watching stand-up comedy specials. Riffing on actual movies, that comes from watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Riff Tracks. From Min This Moment, who is also a member on Patreon, so thank you very much. First of all, congratulations on hitting these milestones, long overdue in my opinion. My question is, knowing what you do now, what would you wish you knew about the YouTube grind when you first started out? Any tips for people currently grinding? What's your hair care regimen? If one Andy gets drunk, do the other two get drunk too? Do you like going to conventions to meet horror icons? I guess if I could go back and give myself some advice, is that the YouTube system seems to prefer quantity over quality, and I'm more of a quality over quantity person. I would rather make 2 really good videos a month instead of 4 okay ones. But that seems to be what YouTube wants. And if I ever get to the point where one day I can do this full-time and not have to work a part-time job and have more time to work on these videos, then maybe I could do 3 to 4 solid videos in a month. Pick a schedule and just make as much as you can, I guess, without sacrificing quality. What's your hair care regimen? I just use Garnier shampoo and conditioner. Every once in a while, I might throw in a leave-in conditioner. My hair's dirty right now, so after this, I'm gonna go take a shower because I have to work tonight. If one Andy gets drunk, do the other two get drunk too? For Andy, probably, yeah. So whenever evil Andy gets drunk, a little good Andy gets a little drunk too. But like I mentioned, in my real life, I don't drink. Do you like going to conventions to meet horror icons? I did a lot more when I was younger. I kind of talked about my experience with conventions already. I miss the day when you could go up to a table and give Kane Hodder or Sid Haig $20 and you got an autograph. I don't know, you try to meet Mark Hamill and he's charging $500 for an autograph, and that's not even with a picture or anything included. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to meet someone. And like I said, they've just become too crowded and too overpriced, paying, a couple $100 to meet someone for literally 5 seconds. Say hello, shake their hands, pose for a picture, and then, they shuttle you out like cattle. I don't know, it's not a great experience, not worth it to me anymore. They're all usually pretty nice. Kane Hodder and Sid Haig were probably the nicest people I've ever met at a convention. From Matthew McShane, what's your favorite horror TV show? Mine might be The Fall of the House of Usher or the various seasons of Slasher. Twilight Zone, The Munsters, if you count that, Tales from the Crypt, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Those are my favorite. From Blu-ray Hunter, how did you come up with the theme of your channel? I didn't. My brother-in-law is a talented musician, writer, guitar player, drummer, bass player, records music, he does it all. Check out his band, Erase the Bear. At the end of every video, there's, his name credited and the link to his Bandcamp page. So check him out. But no, one day I was at a festival and got a text or a phone call saying, hey, come over. And I went over to his house and he wrote a theme song for me, and I don't recall asking or talking about it. I think it was just something he did. And the original theme song is over 2 minutes, maybe close to 3 or something. Because he's used to like writing actual 3-minute songs. And I was like, this song is amazing, but it's too long for an intro. So we took the best verses and whittled everything down into about 57 seconds is what I think the final song is. But if you're a patron, you can find the full-length version. I posted that a long time ago. If you go on there on Patreon and search full-length Boots to Reboots theme song, you can listen to it. From Wesley Petticord, can we please get a Fly Boots to Reboots? One day, absolutely. That's been on the short list for so long, and I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger on it. I guess because universally it's well known for being one of the better remakes. So I mean, there's no question it's not going to get the boot. But The Fly is a great horror remake, and yes, I would love to do a Boots to Reboots on it soon. From Lucas Felon on Patreon, thank you, Lucas, for being a member. What episodes would you say you're most proud of as of right now? There's a lot of bits from videos that I really like the ending of the Friday the 13th video, or some of the stuff in the Killer Clowns video, or trying to figure out how to do blob effects for my review of the remake of The Blob. But the video I'm most proud of would probably easily be my review of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was my birthday. I got to fly to Texas, shoot parts of the video at the actual filming locations, and I wanted that video out on August 18th for the 50th anniversary. And I was done with that video like a week early, but every time I uploaded it, it got hit with a copyright claim or demonetized because the system deemed it not advertiser friendly. So I had to make so many changes to that video. I was seriously cutting it up 5 minutes at a time and uploading it, trying to figure out what's the issue. But I finally got it out on August 18th. So yeah, that one was fun to make, but a pain in the ass to upload and publish. Even just a couple weeks ago, that video that I'm very proud of got a copyright claim on it from some Brazilian independent TV network. What the fuck does that have to do with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? How can they claim ownership of that movie? Now, thankfully, they dropped it when I disputed it. Otherwise, I was going to be really pissed. Because that's my favorite video. And it has over 100,000 views on it. And in general, the last 2 months, especially with Universal Pictures, I've been getting a lot of copyright claims. So again, thank you to everyone who is a patron on Patreon or a YouTube member, because you help when videos get copyright claimed. At least I make something off of doing this work. But yeah, the past couple months, I don't know, the copyright claims have been ridiculous. Again, I would not be doing this without you guys. From Honest Dave, version 1, would you rather fight one Andre the Giant or a dozen Danny DeVitos? Look, give me Andre the Giant. I wouldn't fuck with even one Danny DeVito. He's the trash man, all right? He eats garbage. I don't need to be in the hospital and I don't know, all of a sudden he just started blasting. From William Joseph King from Patreon. William, thank you for being a patron. Andy, what do you think of reviewing movies you find to be the watershed horror movies? I know you've done Jaws, and your review of Suspiria and TCM are some of my favorites. I'd love to hear your thoughts on other icons like the Hammer films, Argento, and maybe some nasties like I Spit on Your Grave or Cannibal Holocaust. Or a personal favorite, Beach Babes 2 Return to Cave Girl Island. Good Andy, what is your favorite dog? Evil Andy, what dog tastes the best? Yeah, there was that period there during kind of the heyday of Hammer when they were just going through and remaking a lot of the Universal monsters. So that's something I could definitely cover on Boots to Reboots someday. I mean, someone's mentioned The Fly. I'd like to do The Fly. I did American Psycho. I'm a big fan of A Clockwork Orange. I would love to do a video on A Clockwork Orange. Some video nasties like I Spit on Your Grave or Cannibal Holocaust. This is another reason why I really haven't done a Boots to Reboots on The Last House on the Left yet. Rape revenge movies to me aren't fun. They're probably some of my least favorite horror movies, because I watch horror movies to have fun. Horror movies don't really scare me, so usually like horror comedies are my thing. And also you have to worry about age restriction on YouTube, it being advertiser friendly, this and that. So that's one of the reasons why I really haven't done movies like Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave. One, it's not my favorite subgenre of horror, and two, I would be worried that they would get demonetized or age restricted or something stupid. Now, Last House on the Left is one of the bigger remakes that I still have to do. I'm probably gonna end up doing it someday, but I mean, that's the reason why, as of now, I haven't done that one yet. It's coming though, one of these days. Good Andy's favorite dog would probably be a Pomsky, which is a mix of a Husky and a Pomeranian. Or Evil Andy, what dog tastes the best? Corn dogs. I had a corn dog yesterday. I might have another corn dog today. From Blacklight Films, congratulations Andy, really looking forward to new videos. Would you ever be interested in doing some type of horror podcast? Or also reacting to subscribers' most scariest true stories? I don't think I would want to do a horror podcast, at least not by myself. In real life, I'm pretty quiet and don't have the gift of gab, so having to talk by myself for an hour, that's horrifying. So I would have to have a co-host, or it would have to be some kind of interview program where I maybe brought on like horror actors and interviewed them. But there's already so many podcasts out there that do that. Lately, YouTube has been recommending a podcast to me called, I think, Talks from the Crypt. And I've been watching short clips from that and just the people that they've had on there interviewing. Bill Moseley, Michael Berryman, Kane Hodder. And the clips I've seen of that podcast have been really good and the interviews have been interesting. So not really interested in a podcast, and there's already so much competition out there already. Reacting to your scariest true stories. That could be like a fun bonus video or something. I do watch the Ghoul Boys, and I'll watch their ghost hunting videos and because it's called Ghost Files, and then they have Mystery Files. So it's kind of like what they were doing on BuzzFeed, ghost hunting, true crime stuff. But they also have a series called Are You Scared? And it's pretty much them reading creepypastas. At the end, you get to find out if it was real or not. Another channel I like, Meat Canyon and Papa Meat, he has a third channel called Creepcast, and he pretty much does the same thing where him and his co-host read scary stories and react to them. It's already being done, and they do it better than probably what I could do by myself. So, not too interested in doing that. This one comes from James Reimer, who is also a member on Patreon, so thank you very much, James. Hi, I have two questions, if that's okay. One is, does the list have a backside given all the new remakes, reboots like Disney and horror in recent years? The second question is, how fast can evil rob a liquor store? Well, the first part of that question, the list that you can see hanging up back there, that's really just a prop list. There's nothing written on the back of it, and most of the movies on the front have been crossed off. So it may be time to make a new prop list coming up. The actual list is actually a Word document that has pretty much any remake you can think of that's been made in the last 40, maybe 50 years on it. So that's the real list. I get a lot of comments about the Disney remakes. I mean, even as a little kid, I was watching monster movies. I wasn't a big Disney kid. Those movies really don't mean a whole lot to me. Like, I don't know, I could care less if there's a new Aladdin or Little Mermaid or Snow White movie. It's not for me. It wasn't for me when I was 5. It's not really for me when I'm 35. But people have been commenting about doing the Disney remakes. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do them one day, but they're not really high up on the list of movies that I would want to talk about. A Nightmare on Elm Street, or A Clockwork Orange, or something else instead of The Little Mermaid. I also don't make videos for kids. Why is this evil man in the bandages talking about his penis so much? Mom! I don't even give a shit about, like, the Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse, now that, the copyright is over and now people are doing horror movies based on those old cartoon characters. Haven't seen any of them. Not really interested in seeing the Popeye the Slayer Man movie. How fast can evil rob a liquor store? Well, it can take about 2 minutes for the cops to get there, so he has to do it in like under 90 seconds. From Deep Silver Wolf 1, who does your costumes? Well, my costume that I wear it's me. It's pretty much just a robe and some bandages. Other costumes and stuff that I use throughout my videos, a lot of it comes from Trick or Treat Studios. They're just screen accurate. They come from the movie molds usually, and it's fairly cheap. Like, you can get the actual Halloween 3 movie masks from the old Don Post molds for like $60. Whereas online through independent artists, I mean, they may charge you $250 for a Michael Myers mask. Or you can spend $60 on one from Trick or Treat Studios that comes from the movie mold. I mean, you can't get more accurate than that. Like all my Michael Myers masks, my Art the Clown stuff, the Killer Clown stuff, like all of that pretty much comes, probably 90% of it comes from Trick or Treat Studios. It would be cool if they wanted to sponsor me or something, get a little discount code or something. Will you ever do a reboot to reboot series where you re-look at the remakes you've talked about in older videos? No. There's just something funny to me about remaking older videos talking about remakes. Like, I'm not interested in going back at all. Now, those older videos, I'm mainly talking about the remakes. So it would be nice to one day maybe go back and do a video on just the original Psycho or the original Dawn of the Dead. But no, I have no interest in going back and redoing a video on Mighty Joe Young or something. 3, finally, who does your costumes and makeup? Wait, I already, that was your first question. Well-deserved milestone, Andy. Road to 1 million, here we come. God damn, I hope so. From Joey Ferris, will there ever be an episode where Good Andy reviews a movie? I don't know if there will ever be an episode where it's just one of the Andys. The very first Maniacal Cinephile video, which might have been Captain America Civil War or something, it was just what the fans have called Andy Prime. And I was like, oh, these Maniacal Cinephile videos, they'll be newer releases, they'll be shorter, maybe like 7 to 10 minutes. Won't take that much time, get them out pretty quick. Can do those in between like the bigger videos. So it was just Andy, and most of the comments were, where's Good and Evil Andy? Are you not doing Good and Evil Andy anymore? So very quickly I was like, shit, I have to put everyone in the videos. My wife has suggested as like bonus videos for Patreon and YouTube members, maybe like a good Andy's cooking video or something with good Andy, which, I mean, that's a possibility. I think a video with just evil Andy would be interesting. I'm not sure. What could he talk about all by himself for at least 10 minutes? Yeah, I don't know if something like that would appear on the main channel, but maybe the split personalities would get little side bonus videos here and there on Patreon or YouTube members or something like that. From Tony Kearns on Patreon, thank you, Tony, for being a member. How did the collaboration with Count Jacula come about? Are there any other YouTube hosts you'd like to work with? I got a message from him on Facebook or Twitter, or maybe it was an email about how he was doing a video on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and he wrote a little part for me and wondered if I wanted to do it, and I had never done a collab before and wanted to see what that was like. So I said yes, kind of rewrote what he wrote for me just to fit my personality a little bit better, shot the footage, sent it to him via Dropbox, I believe. Yeah, so that's how that came about. Are there any other YouTube hosts I would like to work with? I'm a big fan of Papa Meat and his YouTube channel. I'm very jealous that he has a lot of money and a big budget to make all these props and puppets and all this stuff. He has a team that works, the equipment for him, and he has money to hire editors to edit videos for him. So yeah, I would love to collab with him sometime. A couple months ago, he made a post looking for editors, and I applied, but didn't hear anything. I was kind of hoping, well, maybe if I work on my stuff and become an editor for Papa Meat, maybe I can quit my midnight job or something. I'm also a really big fan of Red Letter Media. Within a day, I could drive to Milwaukee, which is where they're from. Yeah, I would love to sit on their couch and be a guest on a best of the worst videos where you watch 3 horrible movies in one sitting and then have a little table discussion on which one is the best of the worst. I would love to just hang out with those guys and watch bad movies and talk about them. From Darth Cinema, what would you say is the worst remake you have covered on Boots to Reboots? Either April Fool's Day or Prom Night? Maybe the remake of Psycho because it's shot for shot the same movie? That Day of the Dead remake was pretty bad. I don't know, there's been quite a few stinkers, but maybe April Fool's Day. This one is from Colin Foster on Patreon. Thank you for being a member, Colin. If I may ask the 3 of you the following. Andy, could we get a room tour, and are you still married or have tattoos? As a bonus video on Patreon and YouTube members, yes, I have thought about doing kind of like a making of video, like how I set up and do videos, kind of like a tour of the set, a tour of my movie theater room, like the props I got, what movies I got. I mean, I have easily over 1,000 DVDs, so I don't know if I can really go through, here's this movie, here's this movie, here's this movie. I'd probably just have to pan real quick at my shelves and be like, okay, pause it, and you can see all the movies that I own. But yes, that is something I have thought about doing as a bonus video. Am I still married? Yes. We've been together since 2009, so like 16 years. Do I have any tattoos? No, I don't. I love tattoos. I would love to have tattoos. If I had more money to spend on tattoos, I would probably have full sleeves of monster tattoos. How's Rex doing? Did he survive the Shining review? Well, yes. He's still back there. In every video, and in every video, good Andy is holding him, so yes, he made it. Evil Andy, got any ideas on how to get away with drinking on the job in a hospital? Well, you're in a hospital, so you're probably surrounded by bottles of rubbing alcohol. Now don't drink that, because that's toxic. What you want to do is dump that out, and then probably just replace the alcohol with vodka or something. Where there's a will, there's a way. Drunks know how to get drunk. From Soraya Cup, which is your favorite Scream King? And this is another like top 10, because I did one for Scream Queens, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do one like top 10 Scream Kings. It's gotta be Bruce Campbell, right? Ash from Evil Dead. Number 1 Scream King, Ash. From The Stranger, where did you find your coat you use in videos? I've been wanting to make a sanitarium patient costume for a long time, but could never find the right coat. I don't remember where I got Andy's robe, and I really kick myself for not getting 2, 3, or 4 of them, because that robe, that's the first robe. I've been wearing that robe for 13 years now. It is dirty, it is stinky. And yeah, I really wish I had some backups. So if I start doing meet and greets, I'm just letting you know, that robe, it's a little stinky. I myself have even tried to find backups since then. And yeah, it's hard to find. Did I get it from Walmart? Did I steal it from work? I can't remember. This question comes from Jay Rand, who is also a member over on Patreon. And you've been a member for quite a while. A lot of you guys have been members for a long time, so thank you very much. What were some movies that either you had a preconceived dislike or a completely blind watch that you were won over on and found that you really liked or loved? I don't know, there's not a lot of movies that I have some kind of preconceived dislike for. I guess maybe, except for the Twilight movies, but that's just kind of like as a joke. Who knows? Maybe I'll watch Twilight one day and be like, this is amazing. As a little kid, I didn't love Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is funny because, you know, now I got all the masks behind me in every video. I was one of those people who was like, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It sucks. Which really, if you watch it as a standalone movie, it's pretty good. It's a great movie to watch around Halloween. And sometimes, you know, after the series has been rebooted like 4 times, because there's really only so much you can do with the Michael Myers character, part of me wishes they kept with the anthology idea and every Halloween just made a new movie about the holiday. Kind of seems like wasted energy to hate on something that you haven't seen. Or was there a completely blind watch that I fell in love with? I checked out a movie called Creep, and now there's a Creep 2 and a Creep TV show. That was a blind watch that I ended up really liking that movie. Deadstream, which is about a disgraced YouTuber who, to win back his audience, spends the night doing challenges in a haunted house. Really fell in love with that movie, Deadstream. Another movie I had never heard of before was a movie called Fade to Black. Don't know why I watched it, but it sounded interesting and put it on, and I ended up really loving that movie. I'm also not a big believer in hating a movie because it's overhyped. Like, I liked Sinners, and now you're getting that thing where like 5 months later, now that it's on HBO Max, all these people are starting to watch it now, and then 5 months later coming out and being like, oh, it was overhyped. Like, that's not the movie's fault. If anything, that's a you problem. I don't know, that's not the editor's fault. That's not the cinematographer's fault. That's not the director's fault that their movie was overhyped. There's a line by Otis in The Devil's Rejects, where he says, you know, I set my expectations pretty low, so I'm never disappointed. And that's kinda wise. From Ghost Shows, what is, in your opinion, the greatest horror remake of the 2000s? I've been watching you guys for years. Congrats on the achievement. Oh, thank you. Greatest horror remake of the 2000s, I would probably have to say, off the top of my head, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dawn of the Dead, Hills Have Eyes. Out of those three, my favorite would probably be the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. As much as I love that remake, I also kind of blame it for the remake craze that came after it. Damn you for being so good that then they decided to remake every horror movie that you could recognize. From Buzzo Autopsy, 1. Who is your favorite special effects artist? 2. What is your favorite practical effects used in movies released in the last 10 years? I actually thought about doing like a top 10 video on special effects artists. I mean, it's hard to pick a top. I mean, you got guys like Dick Smith, Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero. Yeah, those would be my top 3. And then for part 2, I would probably say in the Terrifier movies. Wearing a Terrifier shirt right now. They're kind of realistic, but it's so over the top and horrific that it becomes funny. When Art the Clown goes Jack the Ripper on that one girl in her bedroom, and to top it off, he leaves and then comes dancing back into the room with salt and bleach to pour on her. It's so awful, so over the top, that I can't help but laugh. I don't know what that says about me. From Lenny EO. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. 1. Which horror film would you have loved to have been an extra in, either original or reboot? 2. Which of the Andys was doing the dancing tribute for the Return of the Living Dead review? 3. What's your favorite joke that you've done for a review? Mine is Little Buddy's reaction to the dead baby orca. That was a good one. I don't know, I'd love to be an extra in any horror movie. I did, back when the Nightmare on Elm Street remake was being shot. It was shooting about an hour away from where I live. Because in the original script for that remake, the beginning is way different. It's not the diner scene. It's like a party at some teenager's house, and at the party, one of the kids dies. So yeah, they needed extras for that opening party scene. And I sent them my info. I included a picture of me in the tub, dead, bloody, holding a Freddy glove. I don't know if that was a wise choice. I don't know if that would have impressed them, or they would have been like, this kid's trying too hard. But no, I did not hear anything, so I was not an extra in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'm sure it would have been a interesting experience, but I kind of hate that movie, so now I'm glad I wasn't in it somewhere. Which Andy was doing the dancing in the Return of the Living Dead review? Evil Andy. Favorite joke that I've done? I really love all the skits in the Friday the 13th video. I loved doing the video on the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where I actually flew to Texas for my birthday to visit and shoot things at the actual filming locations from my favorite movie. And I also love, whenever I can dress up as Rob Zombie and make fun of him, like at the end of the House of a Thousand Corpses review, where I'm playing guitar and dancing around like an idiot as Rob Zombie. That's always fun. I love him. The jokes come from a place of love. From Ozruckall666. Ozruckall? Again, sorry if I'm butchering any of your names. What is your favorite song that's based on a horror movie? And that's another video I've thought about doing, is like a top 10 original horror movie theme song, like the Dickies' Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Dream Warriors by Dokken. That would probably be number 1. That's a video I would really like to make, but the only reason I haven't done it is because it's music. Play 3 seconds of the song and your video's probably gonna get copyright claimed. From Derek HG, do you play video games? If so, what are your favorites? If not, are there any that you have wanted to try? I do play video games. GTA, Uncharted, God of War, the wrestling video games, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Killer Clowns, Alien games, Predator games, Fallout 4, Skyrim, now playing the remake of Oblivion, which the trailer for The new Hellraiser game came out today. I just watched it like a couple hours ago. That looks very good. And I'm excited that it's single player and not online multiplayer, because I'm getting kind of sick of these online multiplayer games like Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that only have a lifespan of a year or two, and then they fizzle out and die. So yes, very excited that the Hellraiser game is going to be single player. From Matthew McShane, what is your favorite original score for a horror movie? I mean, anything by John Carpenter. I liked the score for It Follows. I also really liked the score for the remake of Maniac. From X Devil Deadly X, do you have any regrets when it comes to your channel? Taking that break, I don't know, it's crazy because I was so burnt out and I really just wanted to take a break for like a month, and somehow a month turned into about 2 years. Like, I don't know what happened to that time. Never wanted to take a break that long. Looking back on it now, if I didn't take that break, I would probably be much further along than what I am. I probably would have hit 75,000 subscribers a long time ago. I'd probably be at 100, at least 100 already, who knows? Definitely regret taking that month-long break. From ASAP Sharky For Real, who's your favorite wrestler both current and all time? I'm a big fan of CM Punk. Right now, Cody Rhodes is kind of like the big baby face of the company. Jacob Fatu, big fan of Jacob Fatu. Big fan of, you can see his mask down here in the corner, Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. I was so excited. Well, I was pissed when he was fired, and then so excited when he was brought back, and then devastated again when he passed away. That sucked. But favorite of all time, Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Mankind. From Brandon Jr. McNamara, were there other masks or covering for your character before the bandages, and why did you choose them for the costume? You kind of see it in the movie Us, where it's kind of like a burn, I think like compression mask. Or I thought about doing kind of like a dashing Cody Rhodes clear plastic mask when he got his, I think his nose broken and he wasn't dashing anymore and he had to wear that clear mask on his face. So I thought about doing that. I don't know, I just like bandages, so I went with bandages. I like mummies and Frankenstein and the Invisible Man. I like bandages. From Mr. Redgrin, is there any horror movie you absolutely refuse to watch? When I was going to film school, some people were talking about a Serbian film and like how hardcore and extreme it is. So I started watching that and turned it off. I was like, no, I'm good. I did watch Salo, 100 Days of Sodom or something like that. I watched that, and afterwards was like, I don't know why I watched that. I'm never watching that again. But no, definitely no desire to watch a Serbian film. All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut it right there. I think I got like 255 questions. I tried to answer as many as I could. I hope this video isn't too long for you. I hope I got to your question. Thank you guys so much for the support and the kind words, for supporting the videos. Thank you for being a member on Patreon or a member on YouTube. Without your guys' support, I would not be doing this. You guys literally keep the lights on at Andy's Asylum. I don't know how to end a video not in character. So again, thank you times 75,000. I'll go back to being Andy and see you guys in a video really soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.